and you have no idea what you're going to make, that would be me today. So I thought I'd bring you along for the journey. Okay, so here's what I have, and we're just going to see what happens. I had this little spaghetti squash. So what I do for spaghetti squash is I take it whole and I prick it all over with a fork. I put it on a little tray because it does weep a little bit. 350 degrees in the oven for an hour, and it comes out nice and soft and easy to use. So we're going to use some spaghetti squash, some onion. I have some sun-dried tomato pesto that's been in the fridge that needs to be used, some regular basil pesto, some frozen, solid as a brick, ground turkey, a little parsley, and some Romano cheese. And we're just going to see what happens. Okay, let's get right to it. So this spaghetti squash is cooked and ready to go. I'm just going to get a little bowl. Since it's a little squash, I don't need a big one. And we're going to get the flesh out of there. In the pan on the stove, I have my turkey, and it's still solid as a rock. And I'm just going to let it do its thing and scrape off as it starts cooking and get back to the frozen centers. Okay, see what happens when you, frozen center of the meat. See what happens when you cut open the squash that you've cooked whole? It's very soft and it flakes away. So, but you still have all the stuff inside. So I found for me, it's just easiest to take my knife around the outside. Still hot-ish. It's not so bad, but you're going to lose some of it. It just happens. And then you can scrape it out. Okay, and you can get all that stuff out of there instead of fighting with the squash while it is raw and hurting yourself trying to cut it open. So you can see, if you've never had spaghetti squash before, that it flakes out like spaghetti, which is why it's called spaghetti squash. So I'm just going to do this and get all this spaghetti squash done, and we'll be back in just a minute. Okay, so now you can see what I'm doing here. I have just this hunk of meat here. So if you've got frozen meat of any kind that's ground up, you can do this. And I just keep flipping it and scraping off the meat that's able to come off, basically, until I get to the bottom. And I just keep breaking it up until I have ground-ish meat. So this is the process for hurrying up the defrosting of the meat. And now I'm going to add some onion. Okay, so all I did was take one medium onion. I had Vidalia, so that's what I used. And I put a little bit of olive oil in there because ground turkey, it was a very low-fat ground turkey. And I don't want it to stick. And it'll be a nice flavor and coating for the end product. So I'm just going to cook that until the onions are soft. All right, so our onions are soft. Now I normally would have put those in while the meat was browning as well. However, I needed to defrost it. So I put it in a little separate, and you can see I've gotten a little coloration on my turkey. And I'm going to take this, what's left in this sun-dried tomato pesto jar. I'm just going to scrape it all out. I'm going to chuck it in here. I'm a little bit interested in getting all of it out, but this is not doing that, so I will get it after. And then I'll put what's left of this basil pesto in here. Okay. And I will cook that up for just a second, just to get it all mixed in. And then we're just going to add our spaghetti squash and see what we've got. And then we can doctor it from there. Oops, I just lost an onion. I did find some tomatoes as well, so I'm going to throw those in there. Why not, right? See what happens. Okay. And I put those at the end because we just want them to be a little bit burst, a little softened. I don't want them to be totally mush, so I threw those near the end. And I'm just going to stir this all together, and if I need a little more moisture, I can add a little more olive oil, or if you like it to be a little creamy, you can add some half and half or heavy cream. Milk is a little bit different on your blood sugar, so if you have half and half or heavy cream, that's going to be easier on your blood sugar, so I would choose one of those. So it's looking good so far. I have a little bit of parsley. I did not add any seasonings on purpose because I just want to see how it tastes first. And I'm just going to add some chopped parsley. I had a zucchini I thought about adding in, but I decided against that. I'm just looking at what I have laying around. Toss it in. We'll taste it up and see if we want to doctor it. I tasted it and didn't feel like it needed any more seasoning. So I'm just going to take my microplaner and this block of cheese. This is Romano. And I'm just going to go over the top. And if you felt like it needed a little more salt, this would be a great way to get that extra salt in there. And we get that beautiful cheese on top. Delish. It's taste testing time. It looks delicious. It smells delicious. And it took me 23 minutes start to finish, minus the time the spaghetti squash was in the oven. That just had to go for an hour. However, you can do that more quickly in the microwave if needed. So once the squash was done, 23 minutes to start to finish. Also while recording a video. So quick dinner choice. Let's see how it tastes. It's hot. Make sure you blow. I love it, actually. It's delicious. I just used things that I had laying around, guys. Just rummage through your fridge, find something, throw it together, see what happens. I'll actually put this into a recipe format and put that in the comments below for you. So thank you for joining me on this video. Hopefully you enjoy this recipe and this quick idea to get dinner on the table. I want to invite you in the comment section below to not just get this recipe, but I also have 5 quick, easy sides in a little recipe booklet free for you as well, and you'll find the link for that in the comments below. I'd love it if you'd subscribe and join us on our journey to being well through how we eat and the things that we think and the things that we do and how it all comes together on our wellness journey. So thank you for being with me, and we'll see you on the next video.